Shalom, Kal Halal Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Recha Kodash. Double honor to the elder apostles, the elder bishops, and the elders of the Great Millstone GMS, who rule and teach Yasha Allah well through the Spirit. And salutations to the elect. Abba Ratazar, Father willing, this lesson is edifying. Well, this is an old twist in an old snake. Inspiration for this lesson is drawn from this article that you see on your screen. So let's move towards the sterilization of the entire globe, which really stems from the Georgia Guidestones, right? Many years ago, which the Georgia Guidestones were, knocked down some years ago. This is the basically the agenda of the higher elites that they're trying to further. Okay, maintain the human population of the world, to 500 million. Okay, there's over 8 billion people on this planet according to Esau Edom statistics. Esau Edom being a self-proclaimed so-called white man. All right, Esau. All right, the liar, the man of sin, the wicked. Okay. So, businessinsider.com, and I'll link the article in the description box underneath. I'll put it there so you can look into it. All right, these are the receipts that we got. All right, exposing this devil through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. Okay, so you know who, I don't want to say his name. Okay, Foundation's New World First Contraceptive for African Women, what it means for Africa. And yeah, these Edomite philanthropists are always thinking they're doing good for humanity. All right, they love to, showcase their so-called love to the world and all the so-called good they think they're doing for everyone, and say, oh, look how many people I've helped. They like to, make it public. All right, but deep down, these people are hypocrites, fraudsters, liars, and murderers. So the you-know-who Gates Foundation, I said it anyway, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation is set to launch a new long-acting contraceptive in Africa, beginning with Kenya, later this year as part of a $2.5 billion commitment to accelerate research and expand services for the health of African women. All of a sudden they need help. There's all these plants and medicines and herbs that provide help for health. These are even natural contraceptives. Okay, and we're not ignorant to Satan's devices. And a lot of Africans will do this and fall for it, man. Okay, but they love to test on Africa, the land of Ham, which means hot. All right, big testing ground for E. Okay, that's what they love to do. You see. So, launching a new affordable long-term contraceptive in Africa, starting with Kenya. Right, the contraceptives, including a hormonal IUID effective for up to 8 years, and a contraceptive patch aimed to address obstacles such as cost and accessibility. Okay. While receiving praise, concerns were raised about the ethical implications of externally funded family planning initiatives in Africa. Yeah, because this has been going on for a long time, things like this. Okay. And it's not just with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. All right. There's been many others, that do all sorts of wickedness in the name of, basically trying to help the people of Africa. So it says the device is inserted into the uterus where it releases progestin, a synthetic hormone, right? Synthetic, okay, look that up, that thickens cervical mucus to prevent sperm from reaching and fertilizing an egg. She further explained that the patch is embedded with microneedles containing progestin, which delivers protection over several months. Look at that. See? No doubt they put vaccines over there for them to take too. Dr. Anita also noted that the program builds on the foundation's 25-year-old work in maternal and child health aimed at ending preventable deaths, eliminating deadly infectious diseases, and lifting millions out of poverty by 2045. And bad things are going to come with this, man. Okay. Straight up. You see? Other funded innovations include rapid testing for sexually transmitted infections, AI-enabled ultrasound devices, and vaginal health therapies. Why Africa is the focus? How come they don't focus so much on, other heathen nations? Of course, we've got Jake scattered amongst, the Hamites. All right. Why don't they focus so much on South Korea or, or China? It's always Africa for the most part. According to this foundation, the sub-Saharan Africa has some of the highest rates of unmet need from family planning globally, with barriers ranging from cost and distance to health and facilities to cultural opposition. Many countries also face high rates of adolescent pregnancies, maternal mortality, and limited reproductive health infrastructure. By targeting Africa, the initiative seeks to provide longer-lasting, affordable options in regions where demand for family planning remains largely unmet. And you can, read on that article if you want. But we're going to go to the book of Habakkuk, Prophet Habakkuk chapter 2, start verse 4, and it reads, "Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith." Okay, E. Alright. Cannot do righteousness, man. Scripture talks about, can the Ethiopian change his skin or the leopard his spot? Alright, so these devils are just accustomed to doing wickedness. Alright. And the just represents the elect, alright? Who are, walking by faith, and faith is a gift. Alright. Verse 5, yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, right, his false philosophies and doctrines, alright? And America spreads that throughout the earth, okay? He's a proud man, yeah. Proudful is always in other people's business, always in other countries trying to, overthrow governments and deploy their democracy and other things, man. Alright? And stuff like that. Neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desires hell, and he is as death. Yeah, everywhere this man goes, man, it's just death, destruction, chaos, mayhem, sicknesses, diseases, all sorts. Right? And cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Yeah, man. Can't be satisfied. He wants to bring everybody together. Alright? You see? Verse 6. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. Going to that Hebrew word for thick clay, it's ibatyat. Going into heavy debts. Okay, strong H567 concordance number. Ibatyat, yeah, weight of pledges, heavy debts. Just look at how much debt America's in, man. Over 34, 35 trillion, way over that, man. Okay. So yeah, this is what this devil's all about, man. Okay, it's another example. You see. All right. So they developed something that actually stops life from coming into the earth. And there's already a worldwide, population decline as it is. The elite banking families are behind, these depopulation agendas. As part of their NWO plan. Have very few people left on earth and have everything, including the world's resources, to themselves. See? That's what they're about. Right? It's always the same players involved, man. The United Nations, the United States. And this puppet that they have, right? And others too, like Jill Bates, okay, to execute their evil plans. And then again, they love to use the land of Ham, right, as a testing ground, especially the heavily melanated peoples of Africa. And of course, the experiment, Jacob being that too, okay? You see, so plenty of efforts, of population control has been made over there in that land for years and years, man. And of course, lots of people over there, highly populated. Okay, in the so-called developing world. Elam and Moab over there too, so-called East Indian, so-called Chinese, And, you're going to have a lot of people that see this contraceptive thing as something beneficial, but they don't know the side effects, they don't know the issues. And it's not a good thing. How can it be? This is not a good thing. It's going to cause more problems. All right? And the earth was meant to be inhabited anyway, as the scripture says. And, it's if you don't even have the means to produce, like reproduce as human beings in the scriptures, all right? As it says in the scripture, that's a bad thing. And in the ancient world understood that, man. You see? It's in the law. Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 1, it says, "He that is wounded in the stones or hath his private member cut off." Wait. Just looking at come back and say, it says, Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 1 reads, again, he that is wounded in the stones, right, or hath his private member cut off, like you're wounded in the stones, like your testicles, your private member, penis cut off, shall not enter in the congregation of the Lord. Okay? And we're not E's anti-life, man. Okay? And this is within the law. You see? Let's get this in another translation, New Living Translation, NLT. It says, if a man's testicles are crushed or his penis is cut off, he may not be admitted to the assembly of Yahweh. You see that? Okay. The man of sin doesn't, it doesn't want Jake to repopulate, man. Okay? But even in our lower state, even in the ghetto, we're still, having children. Okay? And it goes to show the severity of being able to produce and bring forth life within the earth, man. And again, he don't want that. Why do you think he likes to push, getting a vasectomy? You see? When the righteous are in authority, people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, people mourn. Okay? Even couples are happy when the spouse gets pregnant. They even have little, parties and put it on their social media. They brought another child into the world. Okay? You see? And there's so many things going on, man. Alright? Okay? There's even, a set for rent listing surges across in Canada. Alright? Sorry, sex for rent listings surge across in Canada. Alright? You see? France ordering hospitals to be ready for war. Alright? Okay. America contains less than 5% of the world's population, but nearly 25% of the world's total prison population. Okay. Imagine that. America contains less than 5% of the world's population, but nearly 25% of the world's total prison population. Let's digest that. Job chapter 27, verse 13. This is the portion of a wicked man with God, and the heritage of oppressors which they shall receive of the Almighty. Okay. What, Jill Bates is doing, completely wicked, man. Alright? But most of the world won't see it that way. Alright? 14. If his children be multiplied, it is for the sword, and his offspring shall not be satisfied with bread. Those that remain of him shall be buried in death, and his widows shall not weep. Though he heap up silver as the dust, and prepare raiment as the clay, he may prepare it, but the just shall put it on, and the innocent shall divide the silver. He buildeth his house as a moth, and as a booth that the keeper maketh. The rich man shall lie down, but he shall not be gathered. He openeth his eyes, and he is not. Okay? And these devils think they're going to continue to rule forever, have all the resources, have all the riches. Alright? But the joy of a hypocrite is but for a moment. Okay? Verse 20. Terrors take hold on him as waters. A tempest stealeth him away in the night. The east wind carrieth him away, and he departeth, and as a storm hurleth him out of his place. See? Everything's just but for a certain amount of time. Okay? You see? The Afghani, earthquake that happened, the deletion tolls increased. What, to over 1,100, according to officials. Okay? Burkina Faso bans, homosexuality. Alright? With prison terms. You ain't go to prison for engaging in that filthy behavior. Okay? You see? And I'm someone that likes to, to think, listen, and observe within my surroundings. and always be circumspect to what's going on, because a lot of hypocrisy going on. You see? Verse 20, for Yahweh shall cast upon him and not spare. For Yahweh shall cast upon him and not spare. He would fain flee out of his hand. Men shall clap their hands at him and shall hiss him out of his place. Okay. So yeah, Esau is godless. America's a godless nation. Okay. And it's just pure wickedness across the earth, man. Alright? That's why Yahweh Shemashai is sending judgment. Okay? You see? Great misery shall happen because, especially for those who walk in great pride, loosely paraphrasing. Alright? Wickednesses pollute the whole earth as well. So they're said to have a so-called long-acting contraceptive. Alright? And specifically within regions where they have chosen to enact population control. See? So, the elites are working quickly towards their targets. Alright? See, they're coming down with great wrath because they know they have but a short time. Okay, so they're working in haste, man. And a lot of these African people and these people of the world anyway, and Jakes too, man, they're just asleep. Alright, completely. A lot of them are just oblivious. They just go along with the program, and go ahead and take this and think it's a good thing when it's far from it. So I'm gonna end the lesson there. Alright, and say shalom.